Shit has hit the fan in the last couple of days.
What do you want to start with? AI Fiesta?
Yeah, we can talk about the one and only a YouTuber.
Having said that, he mentions that it's not him who has built the product, he's just the face of it and then he's distributing the product, but it was built by the team behind Tag Mango. Tag Mango is essentially like a creator agency of sorts. Chatgpt 2 days later sort of announced that they are integrating UPI natively and creating a new plan just for India called Chatgpt Go, which is at 399 rupees per month. We got a new bill which basically says that real money gaming has been banned in India. It's called Rapido Bike Taxi. It's back on the streets, baby.
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing much. I've been sick for the last 10 days now.
Yeah, we missed a recording, dude.
I couldn't speak last week. That was my bad.
Yeah, but we have a bunch of things that we want to discuss today. Suddenly, a bunch of
shit has hit the fan in the last couple of days.
Yeah. So, what do you want to start with? AI Fiesta?
Yeah, we can talk about the one and only a YouTuber.
Dhruv, Rathee, who's like a prominent YouTuber, talks mostly about politics and then some bit about history and geography and social science and civils and whatnot.
Yeah.
He basically created a video which has now like 5 million views or so, with the title "I am creating my new startup" or something. I'm launching my first startup. So I started watching the video, and the video is basically about him launching a new AI chat app. Now, obviously, it's not a big deal, right? Like, there are so many AI chat apps out in the world right now. Like, what's yet another, right? So what it basically says is when you send a prompt or send a message, it sends to 6 different AI models, and then you sort of get to see the result of them. And the thing he focuses on is the price, because all of his video, I don't know. Did you watch the video by any chance? No, you did not watch it.
I just saw all the chat. I was like, okay, wow, kuch.
Okay. So in the whole video, he keeps mentioning that dosto price, like it's cheap. And so the pricing is essentially 1,000 rupees per month, or I think 10,000 for the year.
Yeah.
And he's comparing that price to 6 subscriptions if you were to buy.
Is that kind of like a little dumb, because no one's like, the average consumer is going to pay for like one chat app subscription?
Yeah, so what do you think, like, who is an average consumer as per you?
I mean, the average, like an average paid user or average just user of AI?
Just user of AI, like who?
I think it's just like anyone who has a phone at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone who can Google it, basically can ask a question.
Yeah. But I don't think most of them are going to need multiple AI chat apps.
Correct. So what I got the impression was that this one is sort of aimed towards people that are like mildly higher usage. If you are writing LinkedIn content for yourself, not for somebody. So if you are writing LinkedIn content and you don't want to hire like a writer, and you don't want to obviously shell out a lot of money, and you don't know, actually even Claude, for example, would cost $20. This thing was only 1,000 rupees, which is I think $12, somewhere around that range. So even if you just want to talk to Claude, this sort of might make more sense. But obviously there are some restrictions, and the biggest one that people have pointed out is that you get 400,000 tokens per month. Let's just talk about my Chatgpt to Chatgpt thing, okay? Not Claude. So I basically had built like a similar app for myself to sort of test out for a couple of MCPs and chatting and everything. I wanted to get the experience of how do we, like, let's say tomorrow a client comes and asks me to build this, right? How do I do that? So I had built and used it for about a week, and I had consumed more than about 6 to 7 million tokens.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, and that is when I'm talking to one model.
Yeah.
So here, if you, let's say, send a message send a prompt, and you run it across 6 models, so it counts that the tokens in 6 times.
I see. Are you allowed to only count, like ask it, okay, just talk to these 2 models instead
Yes.
of, okay.
So the primary workflow that he mentions is you send a message, you get 6 back. You select which one you want to talk to, and then you sort of focus on that. And that's like the primary workflow. Then he's saying you can also talk to 2 out of them, or 3 out of them, or 4, and whatnot.
He also must be making great gross margins on this business, because I think like the cost for like input output tokens per like million is only like a couple of dollars at max, right?
Correct. If I just open Anthropic pricing, which is probably the
most expensive one,
the most expensive one, it is $15 per million token.
Yeah.
That
but
is
this is for Opus or for
Opus. So for Sonnet, it's $3 per million token. So even if you assume Opus, right? So 15 into 0.4, that comes out to be 6. So $6 essentially is paying for the most expensive model, and he's charging $11-12, which I don't have a problem with, to be honest. Like, that's just the nature of any business, right?
Yeah, but I don't. Is Opus one of the models that's allowed?
I don't know because he says it's Claude's premium model. So
okay, but it doesn't show the exact model that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not built for people who know what is 4.0 and 0.3 and 0.4 and
Because I would assume he's not using reasoning models, and he's just using the like Sonnet and GPT-5.
So in my trial, I thought there might be one or two requests that sort of felt like reasoning, but it could honestly be just that the response took time.
Fair.
So I don't know.
Is it a reasoning model, or is it shoddy engineering?
Could be either of them. So having said that, he mentions that it's not him who has built the product, he's just the face of it, and then he's distributing the product, but it was built by the team behind TagMango. TagMango is essentially like a creator agency of sorts.
Was TagMango not like a Cameo for India?
No, I mean maybe when they just got started. At one point they were like sort of competing with us at Graphy. So they were at one point allowing people to sell courses. I think right now they are more of an agency that represents a creator, and for that creator, TagMango people essentially, they partner up with them and then they create a bunch of these things. So that is what this whole thing was. So Dhruv Rathee's main proposition was that it's not as expensive as a pro model. And if your usage is not like mine, right? If let's say you are just slightly above the free usage, right? What do you do? Do you shell out $20 or do you just shell out $12? I think that's the whole value prop.
But I guess like, do you really need a pro model when you're just using ChatGPT free or Claude for free?
So if you want to do image generation, if you want to use image to sort of, you want to be able to analyze an image, for those kind of things, yes.
Does the average or the person over average care about these things? Other than the like Ghibli trend, like.
No, so if you're making something for social media, you definitely do. Another thing that people do is they put screenshots of their reports and whatnot. So ChatGPT is adding a bunch of features there, but I think when it was just released, probably the limits were not that high. At least when I was using free version, I used to run into the limits all the time.
Fair.
For Claude, I mean, that's a very small limit. It's like 5 messages you can send like in some span of time, and then you sort of get stuck. So it is built for a very specific, lower moderate usage, where you want to feel like you're spending money productively, but not really, it's a very gym-like product, like where people just buy gym membership for 3,000 rupees for a year and then never go there.
But it's also kind of like an audience that maybe isn't the best educated on what product they actually need. And and they look at Dhruv Rathee as an authority and they're like, अच्छा इसने कुछ बना दिया तो खरीद लेता हूँ.
I don't know if they will just buy it or will the retention numbers look the same.
Did you see? He posted like a 36-hour update. He said AI Fiesta has hit 3 million plus ARR in just 36 hours. Thank you for all the feedback. Yada yada yada. They've crossed 100,000 downloads on the Play Store. 20,000 paid subscribers in 3 days. A lot of fixes are coming, and they're rethinking the token system as well.
Good.
So it seems like they've heard that feedback that everyone's been yapping about. But also, I don't know how they're calculating ARR. I don't think this is like it's just like annualized revenue, not
so
recurring revenue.
What they are doing probably is they took 36 hours.
No, they can't. No, that's retarded.
No, but they have technically recurring revenue, right? So I mean, it's still easier to calculate ARR based on that. To be honest, a bunch of other companies do that. Like it's.
I know they do it.
I know a company that has raised about north of 10 million.
Yeah.
And when they publish their ARR, they take the highest
week,
highest day.
Okay.
And multiply it by 365.
I've heard of some AI companies like taking their weekly revenue and multiplying it by 52 and calling it ARR. So
yeah. So
to each their own, but
hate the game, not the player.
No, but like when you go raise capital, like if you're gonna go raise capital and like you're gonna tout these numbers, then
I agree.
Shit's gonna come out like people are stupid.
I agree. This is not this is not the best way to move forward. But I think that's just happening in the world. So I think Dhruv is also doing the same thing. Big question that people are asking is it a scam? Like, what do you think?
I don't think it's a scam. I think it's like it's hard to like. It seems like it is a real product. It seems like it does something. It is providing more value to customers who would have to try to do things individually on each chat app if they weren't. So I don't think it's a scam. Like a scam would be like him taking the money and running all open source and free models or some shit like that.
No, even open source and free models you have to host and then.
Okay, I guess like a scam would be to just then not do anything.
I think a scam would be like, for example, if he rebrands an open source model as an AI Fiesta model, or basically a complete cash grab. Like you're not really providing any value. And I mean, I did see a couple of things that I felt like okay, they actually thought about some things. For example, they have. If you write a question, they have a button which basically rewrites the prompt so that it's a better prompt to be to feed. And I think that's a valuable thing, to be honest.
Because I mean, I think people don't know how to prompt right now and yada yada yada.
Correct. So even I could probably use that sort of a thing, even though I feel like I am more of a heavy user, right?
Fair.
So I mean, there are a bunch of things. There are a few things like that I would suggest. This is probably useful as well. So definitely not in a scam category. Is it useful for for a heavy user? Not at all. Yeah. I mean, if you're a heavy user, just pay $110 to different these things and just or just pay or get $200 plan of Chatgpt or I don't know something like that. Yeah. Right. If you're a heavy user, definitely not for you. If you're a completely one query a day user, maybe not for you again, because you can use the free version of Google, you can use the free version of Chatgpt and whatnot. So there's a very small middle layer that is there. I don't know small in terms of population, but like small in terms of probably use case that is probably going to use it. And then they also have a community prompt book. So you don't even want to think that what do I prompt, right? So they have some prompts that you can just press and then you get an answer and copy and paste it on your LinkedIn and whatnot. That's the primary use case I figured.
Yeah, I wonder like what is the moat of a business like this versus them just going to ChatGPT eventually or Claude eventually, because I think we've seen that like value is going to accrue to one or two different model providers, and maybe they accrue to different model providers for different reasons, and then those model providers are going to be the best place to build, or maybe best place to build consumer applications on top of their own models. Like I mean, ChatGPT already has 20 million paid subscribers. Claude already is making so much money on Cursor and CodeGen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
So-
this rapper gonna
Make. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it makes $3 to $5 million a year, I think that's a decent business for them.
Okay,
for
but
at least Dhruv.
is it actually $3 to $5 million, or is it like they made 100K this month and then next month they're gonna make 50K and next month they're gonna make 25K and then
See, that's the question with every creator-led business that I see. It's just unless
I don't know if this is a creator-led thing. I think it's just an AI thing.
so okay. By creator-led, I mean like Dhruv Rathee is the one who's pushing it, and people are buying because it's Dhruv Rathi's. So like how Super U is.
But I mean, like, there are a lot of AI applications that get viral distribution and have like a huge footprint on launch, and then they slowly
Correct.
their revenue dies out. This business had that virality because of the creator, but I don't think this is a symptom of creator-led businesses per se.
No, this is so. The thing that I was coming to was that in creator-led businesses, you get like a huge spike in the beginning when your own subscribers are basically using the product. Now, eventually, you have to figure out other scalable channels, right? You cannot rely on the creator alone. So you need to figure out, I don't know, ads, or maybe the product needs to be so good that people start telling each other, right? If that is not the case, and you're compensating for those things with a creator's face, then eventually yes, the business dies down. And
Fair
I
enough,
think a bunch of businesses have died down in a similar way. I know like a couple of beauty brands that sort of died down because once your initial wave has been monetized, there's nothing left.
I mean, if the product is shit, then there's no repeat purchase. Correct. Or word of mouth, and ad spend can only take you so far if everyone has bad things to say about it.
And it need not be shit, it needs to be like the other products are just much better. They are iterating much faster. They are like a company that's built like a proper startup, like with like proper iteration cycles and whatnot. Like, I mean, versus somebody who's just using a creator's face as a distribution and thinking that will do it. Can't really do it, right? So that's where I think this, at least in the current form, it is looking like it will go there, unless they figure out, okay, these are my channels, and then these are the way I have to crack them. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not very bullish on.
Not very bullish.
I think another month and he'll launch a new project.
I don't think he'll launch a new one. He'll try to push numbers for this. He might have a contract for a year.
For like creators like him or folks of like that with that level of distribution, it probably makes more sense to like launch products that are like one time or 1 month kind of use, and then huge spike in revenue to capture that, and then dormant for some time, and then because if he cares about this business, he's gonna have to spend a fair amount of his own time on this business as well. And he can only do that if this business is gonna generate money for him at par with his YouTube business and everything else he does.
But I think he's probably, I would assume he's like a 10 to 20% shareholder of the business. I don't think.
But like if all distribution is gonna happen through him.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think that's why he would be at 10 to 20 and not 50.
Because but again, if he doesn't promote it again, then the business is going to die.
No, he will promote for sure. It's not going to be, how Feastables is in every video.
But Feastable is so well integrated into everything Mr. Beast does. How is Dhruv Rathee going to integrate AI Fiesta into all of his videos?
Maybe you have not seen his other videos then. But basically his videos have a lot of fact checking, a lot of news reports. Currently he posts a lot of Chatgpt screenshots. Instead of that, he'll do AI Fiesta.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, there is a way to sort of integrate AI Fiesta there, right?
Fair enough.
And then he can, I don't know what he'll end up doing, but there are some ways that I can think of, like for example, he can have like, this is the prompt, why don't you guys try it out and do question and answer and whatnot. Or this is where I did all the research, you can have all my chat history for this research, and you can check out all the sources and whatnot. I mean, there are a bunch of ways to sort of go about that. Enough. And he does fairly often quote his sources. So
No, I know he posts like a link of all his sources, so I'm sure like there is ways to integrate that into.
So I don't know if the push again will be that high, but
Yeah.
at least some sort of brand building would definitely go on. But yeah, I mean, eventually the product needs to stand out on its own, otherwise it's not really useful, especially in AI. Yeah, it's just, this is such a tough market to be in.
I mean, I think it's tough, but it's also like, I mean, that's where all the money is at. Like, you see Lovable going 0 to 100 million ARR in 7 months. How do you pronounce the Singapore Chinese company?
Manus.
I have no, but 0 to 90 million in ARR in 6 months.
Yeah.
People are ready to spend on this category of products if you're able to. I mean,
Correct.
AI Fiesta 0.3 million ARR in 36 hours. Fastest growing Indian AI product.
Actually, have you come across any other consumer AI product in India?
Yeah, I mean, I've invested in several.
Are they at this trajectory?
No, they're not at this trajectory.
So sorry, Anmol. So sorry.
No.
But you know, the biggest threat for Dhruv Rathee is already here.
You think ChatGPT is actually a threat?
Chatgpt Go at $399 is definitely a threat for people who want like higher limits.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we introduce what ChatGPT Go is first?
Yeah. After Dhruv Rathee released his AI Fiesta, ChatGPT 2 days later sort of announced that they are integrating UPI natively and creating a new plan just for India called ChatGPT Go, which is at 399 rupees per month. You can subscribe to it via UPI, by the way.
Yes, and I want to give a shout out to myself for giving this idea to ChatGPT several months ago, where I was like, just go all in on autopay and people will pay.
Yeah.
I tweeted this on April 3rd.
Yeah.
After we did our previous episode on pay.
Yeah. So ChatGPT, why don't you just give us some equity to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plan essentially, as per them, what they have shared. So I did not test it out. I mean, you did.
Right, yeah.
So in the Go, they sort of give extended access to their GPT-5. So what that means is essentially higher limits. So GPT-5 limits, I think you would have like maybe. There was some number I'm forgetting, but like basically after some point it will be like we will sort of shift you back to 3.5 or something.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they are giving a higher limit, higher access to GPT-5. You can also generate images now. So with the free plan, you cannot do that. So with the Go plan, you can generate images. Your limits for file uploads increases. So earlier it was like a very small number. You can, I think, run maybe 5 or 6 more deep research prompts.
Okay.
And another thing that they sort of claim is extended memory. But in my experience, there was already there in free plans. So I don't know what was the limitation, but I'm assuming some limitations would be there. Like if I remember in the free plan, you could have maybe 20 memories you can embed by yourself. I think maybe that number would have been increased. But these are the things that they are offering. The interesting thing is they are like 2/5 2 by 5 of AI Fiesta. I don't think they relaunched it in response to Dhruv Rathee.
You don't think
there are
Dhruv Rathee?
So for research, I went to YouTube and I searched for AI Fiesta reviews and all, and people were like, Dhruv Rathee ko dekh ke ChatGPT ne ye kar diya. I'm like, guys, calm down. Nobody at OpenAI is following.
We all know they did it because of Pooch.
Okay, so for context, Pooch is basically an Indian company that sort of works just like AI Fiesta. Instead, they are running on WhatsApp, and they have like I think some / command. So it's a WhatsApp bot through which you can access AI for free.
Yeah.
But if you are going to use it on WhatsApp, why not just use WhatsApp Meta AI?
Yeah.
So very little unclear.
Atmanirbhar India.
Yeah, a little unclear about their value proposition, but hey, like I don't want to be a hater.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, basically for 400 rupees, essentially you get access to ChatGPT with higher things. I think though whoever was the user for AI Fiesta, ideally over time will then just switch over to ChatGPT Go because it is decent enough. Now, if you are somebody who is like, "Nahi yaar, I want to use Claude," and you don't want to shell out $20, so I don't know. There might be some.
But I don't think Claude popularity in the long tail, or in even like minus like the software engineering janta in this country, is very high. For Claude, like a majority of their revenue is being driven by code completion and code generation. Like it could be Claude code natively, it could be Cursor, it could be the endless number of IDE AI apps. The Claude subscription, I don't think, has nearly as high penetration as ChatGPT in the US, and in India to matlab aur dur ki baat hai.
I sort of agree, except a lot of people who write a lot, and by write I mean like use ChatGPT to write and post. A lot of them sort of are the biggest use cases, at least for the Claude AI, the chatbot. That those are the people that are using it. So I know like a bunch of my friends who have no relation to being in tech. Okay, but they use Claude because they're like, oh, we have trained Claude to sound like us, and now we can get it to sort of write it, and somehow they are just more happier with Claude response.
No, I have heard that, but I still don't see it happening on like a broad enough scale. Like just looking at like the raw ChatGPT versus Claude numbers.
Yeah, I think the assumption is that the demand for AI is going to be so huge, and it is still so huge that AI Fiesta can find a niche here. I think that's the whole play.
I don't know about that, but I think until the populace isn't completely aware of ChatGPT and Anthropic and realize that they can afford those products as well, AI Fiesta has a nice wedge opportunity to capture demand.
Yeah. I mean,
long tail will see if they're able to sustain or not, but they certainly seem to have found an entry point and people paying for their products.
Correct. Which is a decent thing. Like at least in India, $3 million is a big deal.
Yeah. If they are 3 million, how much do you think ChatGPT is making in India off their launch of Go?
ChatGPT Go should be north of 15.
15 million, you think?
Yeah, no.
In 36 hours.
Oh, not 36 hours. I'm talking like in
in a couple of months.
In a month or so, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no clue what it is, and I'm like so curious to see. Like, I mean, it seems like this could be the product that has started off in like our tech Twitter or like online subculture genre that goes a little like more into like normie sphere and
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Like the ChatGPT Go, and because it's already like Plus is already used by a bunch of people in India. So like, how much further does Go take in getting people paying for AI products in the country?
I don't think like serious people are going to sort of downgrade themselves to Go from Plus. There should be like new demand that it ideally sort of takes.
Like I would assume it's like someone who has been using free versions of AI products is like, okay, like Go launched, like why don't I try it for a month? They start using Go, maybe they like find it useful. They're like, okay, I'm gonna subscribe to Pro Plus one day, and that becomes like a wedge.
Yeah. And another thing that happened, they are opening an office in New Delhi.
Yes.
ChatGPT, OpenAI essentially, is expanding to India. This year, they'll open their first office in New Delhi. ChatGPT is in the second largest market by users after US. India is the second largest.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because China is blocked, so that's the only other market that's large enough.
Correct. And the weekly active users of ChatGPT in India have increased like more than 4 times in the past year.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It ranks among the top 5 developer markets globally on the OpenAI platform as well. So ChatGPT India is basically the highest student population worldwide. So you're not even
because Indian students love to cheat. And, like we have a company called OpenNote. India is like their second largest user base as well. It's a tool primarily just for college kids. It's like a personalized AI tutor for you, and it's like India is their second largest, even though they've never focused on India or run ads in India or done like anything in India. India still has the second largest user base.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, but interestingly, they are opening an office in New Delhi. I'm assuming it's not a tech office. It's mostly for policy reasons, because data related to the users for the AI would become like a big deal pretty soon, and then they want to be close to the politics of it. Like
I assume it's kind of they want to get ahead of whatever future regulations might come up against AI companies in India, and by being in Delhi and schmoozing with think tanks and the government, they're able to kind of get their own viewpoints in some of the regulations and are able to carve themselves out exemptions or figure out a way to store data in the country for its users. I'm curious to see if they're going to open an office in like Delhi proper, or it's going to be in like some Gurgaon.
I mean, if it is for policy, it's going to be Delhi.
But like, I mean, there's not that much. Like, actually, it depends on how big their office is going to be, because there's not really that many like places to set up large offices in the city.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a large one. It's probably like 20 people to support the operation. Yeah. But speaking of regulation,
what else has happened this week? We
got a new bill which basically says that real money gaming has been banned in India.
Yeah, it's been a week. I honestly was a little surprised how fast this bill moved.
Yeah.
Because the bill got introduced into the Lok Sabha and was passed, and then it got introduced into the Rajya Sabha next day and got passed, and now it's headed to the president's desk for
signing,
her signature. And it seems like everyone has resigned themselves to the fact that this is happening and there's no way to stop this.
But this was something that I think the opposition and the ruling party are in agreement.
Yeah, I think there was no strong opposition to this, or at least known strong opposition. But it was also still weird that before the bill was stapled in the Lok Sabha, there was no usually when a bill is getting introduced, there's a draft bill that's floating on the internet or with members for a couple of days. This time there was nothing. Sida got introduced, got passed, and chalo.
Correct.
On to business.
So a bunch of these bills have been doing that for the past few weeks, I would say, and this is just one of those.
Yeah. As someone who follows politics in America a little more closely, with all the Senate में ये चल रहा है इस हफ्ते, big beautiful bill नहीं pass हुआ Congress में, and seeing a lot of back and forth there, it was kind of interesting how a bill is passed, this is going into effect tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, at least in India, it's 50-50. You get, sometimes you are able to get that level of engagement. Otherwise, generally it's not.
Yeah. And so what the bill does, it prohibits offering, aiding, abetting, or inducing online money games and online money gambling services. And there is a fine of, I believe, 1 crore rupees and or 3 years in jail for doing so, and a fine or jail time for celebrity endorsements of these platforms as well. And then the bill also prohibits financial services from helping these companies with deposits and payouts and any sort of money movement.
Damn.
So it's kind of not just that the apps themselves are kind of penalized, but they're trying to cripple everything that was supporting this ecosystem, so that you don't have offshore gambling entities that are able to use UPI rails to let people
Makes sense.
Open their deposits, because that is a big thing in the US and other jurisdictions, because online gambling isn't legalized everywhere in the world, but in the US you can still sign up for a gambling website in the Caymans and PayPal money into that entity, and so you're not breaking US law, but no one's stopping you from gambling. Versus in India, moving money outside of India is so hard that you kind of are going to have a hard time trying to gamble. And the impacts is gonna be fairly large. Like, I mean, we have at least 3 unicorns who derive most or all of their.
Which ones?
Dream 11, MPL, and then I think Games 24/7. This is like, I mean, like collectively these companies are valued at like $25 billion. We've had $3 billion of FDI come into the country to build and support these businesses. And these companies also contribute about 2,500 crore annually in GST. $3 billion in tax collections is gone. I mean, there's obvious reasons why this bill was passed. Like, gambling is an addiction, and these apps make it much, much easier to get addicted to gambling. And when you get addicted, you start taking out loans, then you fall into a debt trap, and you could fall into predatory lending. Some people, as a result, take their lives, and it's kind of very sad how that happens. But I mean, I don't know if banning all these apps altogether is going to stop people from gambling.
A couple of people sort of made a pretty good argument that you don't need to ban it completely, you just need to sort of ban the advertisements and all. Like, if you realize that during the IPL season, right, the biggest ads were always Dream 11 and My 11 Circle. What was that? Aaja Mere Circle mein? That was, I don't know if you watched. They had a song and everything, right? So those things, if you could have just banned, probably that was a way to go. And then government is basically probably looking at some numbers, and they're seeing that the loans are causing a big problem because. Anecdotally, I have seen people sort of get crushed by gambling.
Yeah. A lot of young people always get into sports betting and gambling across the globe. This is not an India only phenomenon. US, the number of kids addicted to betting on sports is insane. I think what would have been more interesting to do was I mean, a lot of countries have limits on how much you can deposit onto these apps, and they have a lot of regulations around online money gaming and gambling and the likes that we never had. And I think it's also kind of the fault of these RMG companies that tried to self-regulate themselves for so long and did a really poor job of that. I mean,
to be honest,
if they had just invited proper regulation on themselves and set up that there's gonna be safe gambling laws, and we're gonna make sure people aren't loading more than they can afford, and there are cool down periods, and there is regulation to make sure that these products aren't getting people addicted beyond a certain degree or something. Maybe the government would not have shut down the entire ecosystem.
Having said that, still lottery is still legal in India. So I don't know. So I was reading somewhere that lotteries, a lot of these companies are owned by the politicians, so they're just trying to.
I mean, but it's also think about it. It's so much easier to block and shut down an online ecosystem than trying to shut down this offline network of betting and Satta and all this offline gambling is not going away. And even if you put up regulations to try to stop it, it's almost impossible to enforce. So this was kind of an easy win for the government to stop something. It might not be even a tenth of gambling in India as a whole, but
a lot of the new money that sort of was flowing into the gambling was not via Satta, but via online this thing. Because see, the nature of these Satta and offline this thing is you have to have trust there, and that sort of takes time to establish, and that is why the growth is sort of limited over there. It was not as prevalent, let's say now. If you, I don't know, if you've seen a lot of cab drivers in India are generally playing Dream 11 and all those things. And they were not doing Satta earlier. Okay, I don't know if they will be able to do Satta now.
But I mean, so one thing that's interesting, I was reading this report, was that GST collection from offshore betting entities was higher than RMG. So loading money onto stake and all when it was still legal seems like it was $4 billion, and the RMG ecosystem was $3 billion.
Damn. So
that's still gonna. I think now you can't load money directly. So
crypto.
Yeah. So I mean, it does seem like it is going to be like crypto is going to be one of the ways where Indians start to gamble more, and like I think what the government's going to do is it's going to block all the websites, so then people are going to get VPNs and go to the websites anyways.
No, but but what happens with this, with each extra step, is that conversion rates start going down.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen.
But like if you are addicted to gambling and you need your weekly hit of,
Makes sense.
you are like, I mean, vapes are banned in India.
Sure.
Like, do you see people not vaping anymore? So like if it is addictive enough and people want to do it enough, they will do it and they'll find ways to do it.
Yeah, but at least there's still some legal framework to sort of go behind and sort of stop these things. I mean, see, you're not going to replace it 100%. No country has, right? Like, I think even with, I don't know, is it legal in US?
It's a state by state
thing. So even in India, by the way, it's a state by state. It used to be a state by state
thing. The problem with the state by state thing was it was not very easily enforceable on
the internet.
on states weren't able to enforce their ruling, so that's why it led to a
national thing. Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be 100%, but I'm pretty sure like 90% of the revenue is gone. The 10% who are like literally addicted, they will. A man will find a way, you know.
Yeah, but like it's funny that the people who it's going to impact them, like if you're addicted and you might fall into these death traps as a consequence, you're still going to find a way to gamble. Like without actual any kind of regulations and some sort of social safety net for people who fall into addiction, it doesn't really do anything other than cause Indian companies to lose revenue and the Indian government to lose revenue collection.
Correct. So that's regulatory risk for people who are new to businesses.
A lot of VC we're not gonna invest in RMG companies because we knew that regulations might come up and shit might hit the fan and we might get screwed. And
there are companies that were not investing in RMG?
Yeah, there was a lot of firms who were not investing in RMG, either basis their own reasoning of not doing that or their LPs being like, we don't want you to invest in gambling companies. I mean, if you look at most firms don't have a bet in RMG. Yeah. Like
who are the ones who are funding it?
Like Kalari is an investor in Dream 11. I think Sequoia is an investor in MPL.
That's about it.
Yeah. Like Games 24/7 was self-funded.
Yeah.
Bootstrapped. Pokerbazi was backed by Nazara, but not a venture company, not a venture firm. So I think like had Dream 11 gone public, it probably could have reduced the regulation to this degree, and I think it would have opened up a lot more investment for the category. But I think now it's going to be a hard fight of someone trying to fight for regulations for the next 5 years, and like it's going to come back eventually. It's just a matter of time of.
Oh, you think that?
100%. Like
porn hasn't come back. Why do you think this will?
What do you mean porn hasn't come back?
Porn is banned in India.
Yeah, do people not watch porn in India anymore?
I mean, so that is why the whole Ullu and all those apps were soaring, but now even those were banned. So
see, I think like
I mean, so okay.
Yeah.
Do people not watch porn anymore? Obviously they do. But for example,
is it harder to watch porn? Sure.
Yes. 50% of the traffic would have vanished.
But I guess is there like where is the money to be made in porn in India?
I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe there is.
Yeah, because in gambling there is, and real money gaming and skill based games, there is a shit ton of money to be made here still. So someone is going to start lobbying for this ASAP, and like it will eventually get codified in some sort of law somewhere down the line. This is how fantasy sports became a big thing in America. This is how the RMG ecosystem started in India as well. Like in 2018, the Supreme Court provided clarity that skill-based RMGs are legal. And that's when Dream 11 started pumping a bunch of money into user acquisition because they're like, okay, courts have said this is legal now. We know these businesses are highly profitable. We just have to spend on CAC, and we know that the LTV always works out in this category. If the money is there to be made, and regardless of how much GST you slap on these companies, they're going to find a way to come back legally in some shape or form. I don't know if it's going to take 1 year or 3 years or 5 years or a decade, but
Interesting.
my bet is it's going to come back in some shape or form.
So, but as per the news, Dream 11 has sort of shut down their RMG business in India.
Yeah. You know, all of them have.
So I have a friend at I'm forgetting the name of the company, but it's based in Delhi, and what they are saying is we have not shut down our business yet, but if this keeps going on for 90 more days, we will. So there are like bunch of companies that are trying to do these things.
I mean, like, for example, like I was checking the MPL app yesterday, and they already have disabled the ability to add cash, so you can no longer participate in tournaments. I think Dream 11 has also stopped the ability to participate in new tournaments.
Do you think Probo is also banned by this?
Yes, Probo is also banned.
Damn.
But what's interesting thing about Probo is that, do you know Probo they have a spin-out company for opinion betting on Solana.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like Polymarket on Solana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know how it's doing. It seems to be very, very early. I forget the name also. What's also interesting is now there's like RMG skill-based games in the US. So if you look at the US gaming top charts, there's this game called Triumph, which is on the top of the charts. And I think it's like player versus player RMG games. So I would not be surprised if some of these Indian companies maybe just start pivoting their products to a US use, because
a bunch of companies have. So they have their own divisions outside of India. Brazil is a big market for them. So Winzo has like a decent market in Brazil. I think they are also going for other countries. But yeah, I mean, this is the scenario with real money gaming, and man, this week has been so many news one after the other. Do you I think you missed one news that we did not discuss before getting on the call, but I'll just share. So while we were talking about things that might come back, which is like RMG, I just realized one other service has come back. You know which one?
What has come back?
It's called Rapido Bike Taxi. It's back on the streets, baby.
I tweeted about this last night. I forgot.
The Rapido bike taxis are back. I don't know how, what, when, but it is. Did you get the chance to see what went down?
No, I did not. I just saw one of Rapido's investors, Prateek Podar, tweet last night. So I was like, love that for them.
So I haven't seen yet on their app. For example, oh no, it's there.
Yeah, I mean,
you can see. It's
because
bike.
I sent someone a screenshot that it was on. I saw this tweet. I'm sending it to you.
Okay, so the tweet says, "Wake up, babe! Bike taxis are back in Bengaluru, and there's a bike taxi for 66 rupees, and my God!"
It also wasn't really banned. Did you hear how people were like parceling themselves?
Yeah, but then that also got stopped in like a day. So
but like Uber Courier was still working.
But that was by car. So I mean, so Uber would basically tell you that now you cannot parcel yourself. So because it was contempt of court, dude. Like you can't do that.
I wonder how like these RMG companies are going to try to circumvent the court's order. Do you think anyone's going to try to do that?
Crypto. Yeah, I have a very strong this thing that now these people will go through crypto and do some things via that. So
yeah, I mean, like if Probo's already doing opinion betting on Solana, so
even Polymarket has been doing it for so long, and there are a bunch of other. I don't know if you've seen Z game. There's this racing game called Z. where your horses,
Oh yes, yes, yes. This
they
is the
are
Polygon
racing.
one, right?
yeah, they are racing in the this thing. And what is that race? It's just the computer is just
Yeah, yeah.
simulating situations and randomly winning.
I'll tell you, I'm sad because one of my favorite RMG companies is now gonna have to shut down.
Which
You know,
is-
this company called Ziffy Chess.
Yes.
It's a 2-minute chess game. It's not like really chess. It's like you have to capture the most amount of pieces that you can in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and you like bet against people playing one-on-one against them. And I'm now it is unfortunately gonna have to.
No, but you can still play without money.
Yeah, but there's no fuss in that.
Come on. Do a splitwise thing.
No, that's too complicated. Who's gonna explain to all of these CAs why there's 20 rupees going back and forth between two people?
On splitwise.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was something.
Yes.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and let us know how much you love Rapido bike taxis in the comment section.
And how much you're gonna miss gambling on the internet.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you hopefully again next week.